after some soul searching with my wife Linda of 37 years, we've decided that we'd like to be closer to family, and our family is all in Omaha and in Norfolk. And I've invested quite a bit of my soul here, trying to help this community grow along with an awful lot of partners. And so I didn't want to have the ball fumbled and things that are in process get forgotten, and relationships that have been developed have to be started over again. So I let the board know early that this is a direction that Linda and I like to go, and let's see if we can't figure out how to do this smart. And so today we're going to be posting my position as available, and we've got an agreement with the board that if we can find somebody with a reasonable time, that we'll have a period of time that we walk together, that the football's handed off and not dropped, and that when the board is comfortable that the new hire is up to speed and I've got confidence, then I'll quietly rent a U-Haul and load it and head east. I don't have a position I want to continue to work. I like what I do. Every day I go home, I know I made the town a little bit better, and I might be the only one in town that believes that a lot of days. But I wish I had found this career when I was 25 instead of when I was 50. So I want to continue to do that if I can find an opportunity, but with our two youngest children in Omaha and all of our grandkids and great-grandkids, and our oldest two children in Norfolk, the 4-hour drive is to keep mother happy has been 20,000 miles a year every other weekend to go see kids and grandkids, and that's something I want to continue to do. So that's the reason we're here, and we're proud of the work. Nothing is me, it's all we. One of my mentors in the business, one of the first groundbreakings we had, he says, we've got to get ready to plan the event for the uninvolved. And I said, what? What, the event for the uninvolved? He says, yeah, the groundbreaking, where we have people with their foot on the shovel that didn't have very much to do with the project. Behind the scenes, we've got a great development committee that just left. So Steve Bucky's the chair. The merger of the two organizations was difficult. I knew it was difficult. That's why I took the job. I could see North Platte from the eyes of an outsider coming here. And the people that lived here, you know, you have a tendency that the weeds are growing in the crack in front of the building. You should pick it, but you walk by it 20 times and you don't see it anymore. I saw the promise this community had. I still see it. We've realized some of that, but there's a lot more promise left. The downtown is a beautiful downtown. It has wonderful possibilities. We didn't make much progress there. My first city council meeting, Don Curry grilled me, and I didn't know anybody, and I knew 3 people in town, and I'm at the city council meeting. He grilled me about what are you going to do about downtown. Well, downtown still has that promise. It can be redeveloped. And I've laid out my ideas with certain people, and hopefully we can find that spark and revitalize downtown. The Highway 83, I-80 juncture is equally important to us as the Union Pacific coming through town. Our biggest job creation in the past 3 decades has been Walmart distribution, and that's logistics. So manufacturing's never worked here. We've never had manufacturing, but we're doing pretty good on logistics. So let's go where things are happening for us. This town really still, and a lot of people in leadership that I talk to feel the same way. Jim Hawks talks about it pretty often, that we're ready to pop, we're on a roll. Now, I got here at the bottom of the worst recession we've had since the Great Depression. But if you ask most business people, that was something that happened somewhere else. It didn't happen in North Platte. We've had month-for-month increases in sales tax collection, I think except for 1 month in this past 7 years. Nobody can say that. Our lodging tax, which is a reflection on how many people are coming here and staying, has been continually going up. The Golden Spike is bringing people to town that would not have come here and would not have stopped here. We've got lots of those kinds of assets here that position this community well for the future. And the almost 7 years I've invested here, I hope has helped fulfill some of those and position us for future successes. I've had lots of adventures, lots of small little battles, and that's part of the business. You have it's kind of a relationship kind of thing. It took me a while to get the relationships. It took our board a while to figure out that I was on the DEVCO board and I was on the chamber board, and we had 2 ways of thinking and looking at things. That's gone now. That was the first 3 years. We used to have 20-minute talks about why so-and-so dropped their membership, but we never had a minute talk about why so-and-so joined. That's gone. We don't look backwards anymore. When we lose a member, there's lots of reasons, but whereas membership is as high as it's been in probably 15 years or longer. We're a strong organization. We've got assets that most of our peer communities are jealous of. So we've got the tools. So we have a few little missing pieces here, but we're in a good place. And I feel like part of me says, well, ride the wave, because you know that's what you worked on to get that wave going and get things moving here. But family considerations. I want to spend some time with a son that had some struggles and is doing really well now, and he wants to turbocharge his Miata, and I wanted to turbocharge that Miata before I gave it to him and never took the time. So I'm going to take the time to turbocharge that Miata. And leave it for maybe Ty to say something now.
I'll make just a couple comments real quick. I'm not as slick as you, I might need some notes, but I am a little mad at him, so this is hard, but I'm also extremely grateful and respectful too. I'm Ty Lucas, I'm the current board chair for the organization. First, the gratitude we have for the lead time Dan has given us and for the willingness to train and orient. It'll save the next hire 2 years is my estimation, and maybe 3 or 4 if they're a less experienced person. So our town will always be in debt to you for that. In terms of the logistics, we have formed a search committee that has 6 or 7 board members. We also have the assistance of human resource specialist who's at Great Plains Health. We thank Mel McNay for loaning us one of his good people. We're working together, and we've launched the search for a new CEO effective today. We will be working through various means to find people. We hope that we have both local and non-local candidates submit for the position, and we're going to be interested in talking to anybody who's interested in us. We're going to work hard to make a great selection. The board will make this selection is probably the most important job our board does on an annual basis or every 5 or 10 year basis is recruiting and retaining excellent people in this organization. We're fortunate to have an excellent staff today, and our board needs to stay focused on keeping that. I think back on the accomplishments Dan's had. The merger was tough. It was smart, but it was tough. If you think back several years ago, the reason to merge the Development Corporation and the Chamber was to combine resources to get efficiency and also to have your business community and your economic development effort on the same page. Well, economic development and existing businesses sometimes conflict. And so there was a real challenge. You also had 2 very large boards and lots of members and dues payers that all had thoughts and opinions about how it should run. And so Dan came to the organization. He was our first CEO after the merger, and his job, along with the board chairs and board officers, was to really help digest that merger. It took a while, but you guys did a great job. I mean, I look at what we're focused on today. If you look at our social media presence today, you look at our communications out to members, they've grown. The quality is just fantastic versus several years ago. So there's still a focus on our members. We're also providing great networking opportunities, business services, and so the local members haven't been forgot about, but at the same time, we're spending our board meetings and our economic development committee meetings talking about new and exciting projects in North Platte. The housing project that Dan and the board and the committee have been working on is just the tip of the iceberg to the things that we're working on. And so we're very thankful for the work you've done, and that's all I've got. So yeah, but we'll sure answer any questions.
What kind of things are you guys looking for? What's your search? I mean, what kind of qualities or what kind of things are you looking for out of your next CEO?
Well, the good description will be online later today, and I can get you a copy. But one of the key things is having experience in the economic development and experience managing people, because this is a unified organization. The new hire needs to be focused on economic development primarily. That's one of the adjustments we made 2 years ago here too. If I had this dilemma of there's a ribbon cutting and then I've got a client in town, well, they're both important, but they're important to two different audiences. Right? We cut that out. I don't have to worry about doing a ribbon cutting if I've got some development. So those skills. Certified economic developer is preferable, but somebody that's had experience without certification. Some time on the job, proven work history. This is a technical job. And when I was hired, I don't think the board fully understood. They looked at it from two different eyes, chamber and development. The skill sets that I have, proficient with Microsoft Suite, Office Suite, those kind of communications and those kind of things. That's the same for both jobs, but the details of what you do every day is completely different from a chamber and from a development corporation. It's the smart structure. It is a more efficient use of resources, but the focus has to have somebody in charge and then have the staff specialized. And John Hales has done an excellent job. He is the one that allowed me to just not worry about the chamber. I can go to chamber stuff. I'm still responsible for taking chamber stuff, but I trust John and he's getting the job done for us. So probably a longer answer than you wanted, but the experience is really going to be one of the key things.
On that, and I'd just comment that from the search committee standpoint, is we talked a lot about what's our client, our profile for the person that we hope to recruit. And we're going to want the full 5-tool player here. I mean, this is a good position. And when the organization was merged, it was one of the reasons it was merged was to give the organizations to combine more hiring power. And we're going to want somebody that's got great leadership skills, great listening skills, great collaboration skills, but also that economic development ability and background that Dan refers to. And so we will be selecting, I'm sure, an excellent candidate, because this is a unique opportunity. You've got a community that's got, this organization has been very well managed fiscally, and it's in a great position. I mean, you think of our industrial park out there, you think of the chamber's ability to work on a potential grant request, you think of the LB 840 program that we have here at the city, along with the things the state has going on. I mean, this is a great position for somebody, and so we're going to have we're going to be in a very great position to hire a quality candidate.
Dan, looking back on your career in North Platte, your biggest feather in your cap or your biggest accomplishment in your eyes?
For me, every deal is just that deal, and when it's done, it's done. And I just turn the page, because the fun to me is the deal, putting the deal together. The most recent thing was the housing. We thought it was going to work. We could see it was a clear problem. It was a problem when I got here 7 years ago. But it took things to line up before we had consensus on the board that this is really a problem. Let's figure out how to do something with it. So that was a fun thing to be say, okay, that worked. Giving away money that's pretty easy to do anyway. If you're going to get the outcome that you want, then it becomes a win. The first project with Greenbrier, they wanted to be here. I mean, Union Pacific wanted them to be here. They wanted to be in Grand Island so they could serve BNSF and Union Pacific. That was a very difficult deal to do. It didn't get very much public accolades, and the company didn't join the chamber and still hasn't. So when that was done, move on to the next one. That was a $23 million deal. I joked to my peers in other communities that I was able to triple the manufacturing jobs in the county in my time here, because I added 70 manufacturing jobs to the county, which tripled the number of jobs in the county for manufacturing. We don't have any manufacturing jobs. So I think the housing, being able to transition so that we're no longer talking about, was this a smart idea, about having it work together. That's something I'm proud of. And that was, there was some bloodshed involved with that one. It was difficult. But I was patient, and I had key supporters at the right times. And I was invested in the community. I wanted this community to be successful. I mean, there was times there where I was looking at the job boards, but I always came back to, no, I can get through this. This is a good place. We can do better, and we've done better.